Hey, boys and girls, welcome to yet another edition of Cranky's Corner. I am the cranky old man, and I know it's been a minute, but life gets in the way. I had to go to work. Yep, that's right. Your Uncle Cranky has a job. He's got things he's got to do. But anyway, we're not talking about my job. We're talking about this week what is Cranky cranking? What was the music he was listening to this week? And I got to tell you, I've been listening to some things that have been incredible. I normally gravitate toward things, and I'm sure you do, that you're familiar with. You come home from work, you want to listen to something that you're used to, like an old friend. But, I've been finding some stuff, recent releases and new releases by, bands I've known for decades. Some of these bands I didn't even know were together. Some of these bands I checked out on. They weren't doing anything that interests me, so I just stopped listening to them. But now they've come back in a big way, and they have found their way right to the top of my playlist. So I'm going to bring out the first one. First, though, I got to engage Cranky Vision. You guys know what Cranky Vision is. It's that extra set of eyes old men use. There we go. Cranky Vision. Anyway, the first one up that I've been listening to, and it is awesome. The Scorpions, new release, Rock Believer. It is incredible. I'd like to say it's all killer, no filler. There's a couple of songs on there. Not gonna say I don't care for them. They're just low on my list. They're not bad songs. Like Rock Believer or When You Know Where You Come From. Kind of on the low end for me. But I wouldn't turn them off if they were on. I don't skip past them. They're not horrible. The rest of the album, awesome. Awesome. It's like they listened to their fans. They took some time. Their fans have been saying, give us something like Love at First Sting, the stuff from that era. Give us stuff that reminds us of Love Drive. Give us stuff that reminds us of Animal Magnetism. And even earlier, it's all there. It really is. I was surprised. They listened. They gave us what we wanted. And this was the Target exclusive, and it came with a slip mat for your record player. So some of these things you can go to different stores and get different exclusives. This was the Target exclusive, but Klaus Meine sounds really good on it. The vocalist, he's in his 70s. Sounds a tad on the thin side, but you know what? He sounds great. He doesn't sound like he's missed much of a beat. It's got also the fabulous Mickey D on drums. If you don't know who Mickey D is, just go check out Motorhead. You'll know who Mickey D is. Incredible. Anyway, next one up is something that's made it to the top of my playlist, and it floored me. I kind of checked out on this band. I didn't even, to be honest, I wasn't even sure they were even still together. But, yeah, it's this one. Saxon, Carpe Diem. Latest release. And again, an incredible album. Biff Byford, the singer, he's like in his 70s. Doesn't sound like he's missed a beat. Sounds exactly like he did. This album I would put on par with anything that they've done in the 80s. This is a picture of him inside. And this album is definitely all killer, no filler. I haven't found a bad song on this album. This thing is incredible. Stream it, buy it, check it out. It is really, really good. Another one, I talked about this one in an earlier review of What's Cranky Crankin', and I ended up cranking it again. It was so good. I'm actually cheating a little bit. It's not it's a recent release, and it's their newest release, but it's actually a compilation album of past songs and live tracks. And it's really good. I would really recommend this to anybody, especially if they're a fan of Judas Priest and they like live stuff that was kind of off the beaten path. This one, this one surprised the hell out of me. I was really, really shocked with this one. This was KK's Priest. KK's Priest. I don't know if you know who these guys are, but KK Downing was the original guitarist for Judas Priest. He's the one that wrote all the classic songs on this album except for maybe one. He went and he took Ripper Owens with him, Tony Newton, AJ Mills, and Sean Elge. And they formed KK's Priest. And this thing will give you chills. It kind of reminds me of, I don't know, when I first heard it, I thought Painkiller. And then as the album went on, I started thinking Defenders of the Faith. I started thinking Sin After Sin. I mean, this really takes you on a road to Priest catalog, and you know who the guitarist was in Priest that had a heart. I mean, this one is really, really good. And as a bonus, they also give you the KK Priest CD. So they get you, if you buy the album, you can get a CD as well. And, do what I do. Download it to your computer or stick it in your car or do whatever. But it is really good, and I suggest you go get that one. Another one I've been jamming out on is this one. Iron Maiden's Senjutsu. Iron Maiden is one of those bands I don't understand why they get so much crap. Every time Maiden comes out with a new album, there's a whole host of comments, and people are always sitting there saying, well, man, I don't like they haven't done anything good since Seventh Son of a Seventh Son or Fear of the Dark. They haven't, they've changed. They've gone a different road. Yeah, you know what? They're letting their prog roots show a little bit more. But guess what? If you go listen to Peace of Mind or any of the other ones, you'll see that they're doing the same thing. They haven't changed. And this album, it kicks. Yeah, I've got a couple of the same complaints that other people have. A couple of the songs, maybe the intros are a little too long. Maybe there's a couple things they could trim here or there. But you know what? If you're in the house and you're sitting, this is great. This is great. Iron Maiden was never one of those bands I could drive in the car and listen to, but it's one of the go-tos when I'm at home. I just love listening to this stuff when I'm at home. It is. I guarantee you'll love it if you go pick it up. Worth every penny. This next one, I'm not sure if it's their latest release or it's his newest release, or if it's his most recent, but it's the most recent that I'm aware of. If it's not, let me know. As a matter of fact, let me know what you think of these other albums in the comments. This is all just opinion. Anyway, Rob Zombie. This is a great, great album. I was surprised. I mean, because Rob Zombie with me is usually hit or miss. You either like it or you don't. Some of it's just really strange. Some of it's just too off the wall for me to, even want to deal with. Because, yeah, I'm old. I've got my limits. What can I tell you? But this album is really, really good. It is. And he went through such great lengths, even down to the packaging, and the artwork. It's a single album. He's got a booklet, so you really feel like you're getting stuff, and the booklet is the lyrics. And it looks like it's his art. Again, incredible stuff, start to finish. I just absolutely love this album, and I thought it was going to be one of those just get it and throw it away kind of things. It's made it to like one of my go-to albums, which is odd because I don't timeline's everything. I usually go to my the stuff I'm used to, but I go to that one a lot, even more than the White Zombie ones. All right, the next one, this is kind of cheating a little bit because it's not really a new release, but it's their newest one. It's the last album they've put out, and I really think it kicks. It's AC/DC, Power Up. I got this album when it was released. Matter of fact, I got it as a box set. It came with a t-shirt, and unfortunately the t-shirt's in the wash. Yeah, occasionally the cranky one does laundry too. But it's really good. They got back together with everybody, except obviously for Malcolm Young, who by this time had passed away, but a lot of these songs were written with Malcolm when he was still around. And it's really, really good. Some of the songs, you'll listen to it and you'll be like, oh, I've heard that song on another album. That song sounds familiar. I've heard that someplace else, like Demon Fire. Pretty sure that there's a very, very similar version of it on Ball Breaker. But you know what? They're AC/DC. Even they'll admit it. They've been writing the same damn album for over 30 years now. And they get a pass. There's a few bands. You'll notice there's a few bands that can do that. They can write similar songs and practically the same album over and over again and get away with it and get a pass on it. Motorhead is another one. Motorhead can always do that. And you'll just love it every time. But this great album, and it's near the top of my playlist. This one I don't listen to quite as much as I did when I got it, but that's probably because I bought a bunch of other stuff and just never got back around to it. But this was the technically the second to last thing Deep Purple did. This was supposed to be Deep Purple's final album. They were supposed to end their career with this album and this tour, and then the pandemic happened. So they ended up going in the studio. They had time. They did a compilation album that I didn't get. That does sound pretty good, but I didn't pick it up. And but this was supposed to be their last. This is their last album with original material, and it is a great, great heavy blues rock album. Ian Gillan is in fine form on it. Yeah, he's not hitting those screams and shrieks like he used to, but that's fine. He still sounds great. I mean, he's far from coughing and wheezing. He does sound really good. The whole band Ian Pace is still great on drums. Um, the whole band is just kicking. Steve Morris is doing good. Um, and they end they what was the and the address. I thought it was fitting that they ended this song with a song from their first album, and the address was from the first Deep Purple album. I'm not sure if it was the first song on that album or the last song, but it was. Yeah, I think it was the first song that kicked off that album, and it's going to be the last song that ends this album. So they redid that. I thought that was a nice touch. Um, but this is a great album, and I've listened to it a few times, more than a few times, and I've really come to enjoy it. And out of all the Deep Purple albums, I think I've gone to this one and probably their greatest hits pretty much the most. But anyway, that is what Cranky's cranking this week. There is one thing, there is one album, and I guess I should say it. People are going to get mad at me. They're not going to like it. I didn't buy it. I'm not going to buy it. I did stream it. I did listen to it. And that's the new Def Leppard. I understand. I'm an old school Def Leppard guy, all right? I liked On Through the Night. I liked High and Dry. I liked Pyromania. I didn't have any use for Hysteria. I didn't really like it. I thought it was overproduced. I thought it was too over the top. It didn't sound anything like the Def Leppard that I knew. The fans have been on him for years. That give us an album that we want. Most of their stuff since Hysteria has been pretty much forgettable. They had 7 years. 7 years they could have wrote something. And instead they came out with that steaming pile of monkey crap album that's it was a 7-star Halo or Halo Star or whatever it was. I didn't even care enough about it to look at it. I know some people love it. I saw some reviews. Some people absolutely love the album. It is definitely not for me. The key thing is with all these other bands I've been listening, they stayed true to their fans. Deep Purple never strayed too far away from their rock blues roots. All right. AC/DC never stayed away from what made them famous. They took what brought them to the dance and they kept on going. Rob Zombie, well, he was always out there, and he's done what he's wanted to do, but fortunately what he's wanted to do, the fans also wanted him to do, so it all worked out. Iron Maiden's just in a league all of their own. They didn't change. I think their fans just did. They still sound awesome. But, well, KK's Priest, again, here's a guy, he listened to the fans. This is what the fans wanted. This is what he gave them. It's great. Now, lyrically, if you're looking for, okay, lyrically, whoever wrote the lyrics, they're no Hemingway, okay? But you can forgive that. It's really good. It's just party music. Great stuff. Judas Priest, even their latest album, Firepower, they still listen to their fans. It sounds great. But this one, pick it up. It's good too. Again, this is a product of listening to your fans. Give us something we want. They did. They came out with one of the heaviest albums that would be just like something I would put up with their first 3 or 4 albums. I'd rank it up there probably right before Crusader. I think it's great. Get it. And again, Scorpions, Rock Believer, incredible. With the lyrics, though, if you're looking for lyrics that are, if you're looking for the deeper meaning of life, forget it. It's not here. What you're going to get is killer music, killer sing-alongs, catchy choruses, and just some straight up fun. And with that, the cranky one is going to take his leave of you and let you get on with your life. Please click like, hit subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you can find out when the old man puts something back up. And, by all means, please leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Let's have a conversation about this. There's no right or wrong answers. It's all about opinion. And as we all know, the cranky old man, he's got an opinion. Anyway, we will holler at you later. Peace out.